Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. Welcome to the Fasce Cast, your weekly podcast of everything football, fantasy, predictions, bets, news, lines, games, football, you name it. We got it. Every single Thursday morning at 8 a.m., we're going to be right here at the Fasce Cast on the YouTubes. You know it already. And today, I'm joined here by the Fast Brothers. Brothers, how are you feeling today?
Let's not talk about it.
What I
You
will
know,
say is, when those two teams match up, it never disappoints. Always a great game.
Nope, it disappoints.
Always,
it definitely
always a good
disappoints.
game.
Actually
Exciting
disappointed 4 times in a row.
to the end. Oh man, yeah, that was a lot of feels, a lot of talks about the refs winning. Is it dynasty mode? We got a lot of Chiefs refs talk, controversy. We got a lot of Taylor Swift. We got a lot of three-peat. We got a lot of boycotting the Super Bowl. What's going on all with that? Yeah, let's talk. Let's get into some football talk.
Well, I'm glad you want to get into football talk because this is what we do here. I would like to start off. This is going to be a little bit different, right? Because obviously, this upcoming week, we don't have playoff football. Instead, we have the Pro Bowl, which happens every year. Obviously, it's AFC and NFC. And they do a little thing here with the Team Peyton and Team Eli. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. It's a fun little thing, and I think that's what the Pro Bowl should be all about. It's just obviously having fun. You want to showcase the best of the best players in the entire league, and what two better individuals to coach those teams than the Eli brother or the man. Jesus, I call them the Eli brothers. The Manning brothers. So AFC, NFC. I kind of just want to talk a little bit about where you guys are at and who you think is going to win the Pro Bowl. Obviously, they do flag football, and nobody should get smoke checked, but Tyreek Hill did last year. And I thought it was funny. So yeah, last 5 appearances in the Pro Bowl. The NFC has lost the last two. The AFC obviously won the last 2 out of 5. And they're always pretty. I mean, last year was like a ridiculous scoring game. It was like a Division 3 college basketball score, 64-59. So really, what we're looking at is just a high octane offensive performance. So who do you guys got this year in the AFC NFC Pro Bowl Manning Bowl matchup bowl?
Well, I mean, I could tell you one thing. I almost like never watch these. I did watch the flag football, and I think I was like the only event I actually truly watch, because I find that the most entertaining. But I mean, this year I think the NFC is gonna take this one. I mean, I don't follow it that much, but just thinking about uh, I don't know, talent on each side that isn't in the playoffs or the Super Bowl right now. I just think the NFC had a more like balanced division kind of thing where everyone was kind of fighting, where the AFC was like the teams that made the playoffs were like the only good teams in the whole entire uh, division or like in the conference. So I think NFC it just got a little bit more talent. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. This is just looking at it without actually looking at it. So, um, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. That'll be fun though. I do like how they do the flag football though. I think it's a fun little thing, and it gets a lot of like press, and now we're getting flag football in the Olympics, and I think it's really good for the sport to kind of do this flag football thing because flag football is getting bigger and bigger. And it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch these guys have fun and not try to beat each other up. Like they have been all season. So I'll probably give it a watch.
So you got the NFC, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Brother Justin, who do you have?
So that's exactly why it's horrible, and no one watches it.
Oh.
Call me an old schooly, but I remember when the Pro Bowls, had all these high tier, just crushers going in, like your Ray Lewis's, and you go with the best, and they wear the helmets of the teams, and you play an actual football game. And now everyone so little cares about it. I don't know what shifted is oh, I don't want to play and get it. My season's already over. I already got my what do they call them, incentives. I already got all my money. I don't have nothing. I'm just gonna do nothing for the Pro Bowl. It really doesn't matter, and it just lost importance, and that's why like myself don't even watch it, or we don't even know what's on, or can we pull up? Do we have a boop on the ratings on this thing? Because does actually anybody watch the Pro Bowl? Oh yeah, that's right. We don't have boop today. That would have been a good one to do, but yeah, pulling up the ratings for that, I can't imagine there's a lot of people tuning into it because it lost its specialty. They made it into a fun thing. Woohoo! It's kind of like a just for I think it's mainly for the awards of the people, the outstanding people in the positions, and they just have it, whatever.
Well, little boop did a boop.
I was just about to say that.
I looked it up. Yeah, I mean, looking here at this chart, not entirely sure how accurate it is. I didn't really dive deep into who is making this graph, but according to this graph that I'm reading right now, it spiked in 2011, which I'm sure they had the full on games at 13.4 million, and now last year 2024 5.79.
That's exactly what I'm talking
average
about.
Yeah,
more than half.
Definitely went down. Oh yeah.
It's I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to football or anything, but there's your reason right there. There's not a serious tone to it, paying these guys millions of dollars throughout the year. Yeah, I know they're pro athletes. Not a lot of people gonna get that far, but just that there's a reason why we watch football. It's because it's a physical sport. We like watching those heavy hits, those tackles, and I like going back to the old kickoff where you run 90 miles an hour down to the kicker and absolutely blast them. That's what we watch football for, and then just go into this and unserious you're in your fifth grade elementary playground throwing the football kind of thing. Flag foot don't get me wrong. I watched a little bit of things of the professional flag football. It looks absolutely electric, but NFL is a different story. And I remember there was a big argument about with Tyreek there about the NFL players would never be able to make it. I think it's right. I think it's a totally different game. That's why we watch. The NFL is watching that. So aside from all that ranting about blah 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 Pro Bowl and whatnot. I agree with Caleb. I like the NFC a little bit more, and just when you look at just even comparing the wide receivers from the AFC to NFC, you got Nico Collins, yeah, he's good. Jerry Jeudy, yeah, he's good. Jamar Chase, questions of the top receiver in the whole entire league, but that's all they got. Looking over here, you got CeeDee Lamb, on the best team in the whole entire NFL. That's already a shakeup there. Oh, he was replaced by Mike Evans. Never mind. But oh my God, Mike Evans. That's another story right there. Amon-Ra St. Brown. He got replaced by Malik Neighbors. But look at that, Malik Neighbors. You know what I'm saying? It's just a list of the wide receivers here. It's a separation. Okay. Yeah,
well, look at the quarterbacks for the AFC though. I mean, look at that, Josh. Oh, he got replaced by Russell Wilson. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a big replacement. Jaden Daniels replaced by Baker Mayfield. Ooh, yeah, that's
Lamar Jackson replaced by Drake May. That could be cool to see.
yeah, that'd be fun. He might be good at
Yes,
football.
well, I like
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, I like the Manning brothers too. If you ever tune into like their Thursday games, their cast or whatever, that's really funny
Yeah, many
too.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's what I
they're-
got. I think NFC has the edge for it. Not that it's really as an importance. And are there betting lines for this
yeah, probably.
It's betting for everything.
for the Pro Bowl?
Um,
Let me
I
get
mean,
a
you could
little.
bet if you can see an Oculus in the freaking in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, that's true. Let's see if there's a Pro Bowl bet. I don't see any.
There should be. I think there's betting lines for pretty much anything. I don't know. Could be like a, one of those weird, um, like offsites or whatever, like not DraftKings, but either way, I'm sure it's probably pretty high.
Pro Bowl. No
Like
results.
the
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
like the
finding
score
anything.
line is probably pretty high because they just
Yeah, it's just
it's often
chuck it down.
showcase.
It's a backyard thing. Yeah, it
Yeah,
should go back to the old games, but no one cares enough to play when there's nothing to play for, kind of thing.
yeah, that's true. That's another thing. It's just kind of like a, you know, almost like a little mini vacation. Like when we were in elementary school and we did the field games or whatever. It's
Yeah,
kind of like that. Go have fun, unwind and take all the stress from the season and just have some fun or whatever. But
yeah. I mean, it's cool. I think it's more for the players
oh,
than
100%.
than anything else. Just
yeah.
kind of
Oh yeah.
a hangout day. But I want to see. I want to see the old Pro Bowl. That's what I want to see, but it's never coming back. So
I will say it is definitely more fun to watch people implode. I mean, that's why we love the NFL as it is. I mean, less so now because you have to shotgun quarterbacks if you don't want to get a flag, um, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind the change of pace though.
yeah, that's pretty fun. Just all around.
Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page though. Like we talked about weeks ago, the NFC is just, in my opinion, the better conference. They're just stacked with teams that are unreal. Even teams that had like a not up to par record, those teams are really, really good. Let's just say like the Bucks, for example. Obviously, Mike Evans, you noted, was replacing CD. Um, I mean, the Bucks were a really good team, just ridden with injuries that kind of held them back a little bit. I mean, the Rams as well. So NFC just has an absolute powerhouse of a roster. But I mean, in the same token, you look at it like it's just for fun. It's not like a real, they don't have playbooks or anything. I'm pretty sure it's just like on a whim. Eli is going to be like, hey, run this route, and you know, whatever. So I'm I'm going to be different. I'm taking the AFC. How about that? How about that? I'll be the one that's different. I'll
Brandon
take
being different. Wow.
wow. Wow. Uh,
Wow.
Obviously, it's going to be a very high scoring game. Some of the events are pretty cool. I mean, I guess it's like one of those, like if there's nothing else on TV to watch, tune into it. But, like we said, it's the viewership has been steadily declining over the past, 5 years or so. Record low, by the way, from the chart that I read. Last year was the record low in viewership. So,
Cool.
but yeah, that's what we have for you. No real football games, just the Pro Bowl. So we're gonna move on a little bit to the previous games, the conference championships. I want to start with the NFC. I'll save my sorrows for last. I want to know what you guys were like surprised by, kind of like your takeaways, what you saw, what surprised you, and also like things that you knew were gonna happen, like things you saw coming from each of those games. Justin, I'm gonna start with you.
Ooh, a little mix
Let me.
up. Okay, I like that. All right, yeah, I'll start it off. The main thing in this game was the turnovers. They Lions themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened the week before. Too many turnovers. You can't let it happen in the postseason. Got away from them. I've read a crazy thing. I forgot where, but it was like the game was 14-12, something like that. And when Jaden Daniels last threw his touchdown, and he didn't even touch the ball again for another second until it was 27-12. Something crazy like that, and that's just a result of that's just you're gonna lose games if you have turnovers like that. So that was the only upsetting thing. I feel like the Commanders really could have stayed in it, especially. I mean, you got to give them credit for one heck of a season. That an incredible season. Absolutely no one expected them to be in this position. Jaden Daniels looks like he's going to be really scary to play against as a Cowboys fan, which I do not like that. We're going to be with everything that's going on right now, which I don't want to go into because it's just horrible. Uh, there's nothing to be excited about right now for me in that division. It's like going to be an Eagles show for the next 5 years. Eagles and Commanders are going to be battling it out. There's nothing to really look forward to besides that. And I think Jaden Daniels has found his fit. He's going to carry that team. I can see him almost like this year, going as far as they let him. What a great year by them. But yeah, same thing. What we were expecting, you had one game plan going in, and it's the same game plan everyone has going against the Eagles. It's the only carry of the team. Saquon, once again, 3 touchdowns this week, which is insane. Like at this point, he's literally unstoppable. There's no possible way you're going to stop that guy. The heart and soul of the team. He's going to carry them, and it'll be pretty awesome to see what's going to happen in the Super Bowl with him. Even Jalen, I didn't really even see that too much concerned with his play. Even I thought he did. I thought he played pretty solid. Passing game was there. They threw it when they needed it. Not that they needed it too much, but I thought he played a decent game. So I like the Eagles, and like I said at the beginning of the playoffs, they were the hottest team coming in, and that's you need that momentum carrying. And look where they are; they're in the Super Bowl, and yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty solid game. Rematch game from what this was 2 years ago, right? It was KC San Fran, and then the year before was KC Eagles. I think.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're back at it again. I think it's going to be a good one. Not that I'm watching, but
Yeah. This is. I knew I had to come on here and do the podcast after last week.
To be honest, if you were to sit me down at the beginning of the season and said, Justin, I want you to pick the worst possible outcome of the Super Bowl this year, I would have said the Chiefs and Eagles.
Absolutely, I agree.
This is literally worst case scenario out of any team in the whole entire 2 teams. You can sit down and pick it, which is kind of rough, and we'll probably end up talking about it soon. The calls and stuff when we switch over, so I'll save it for later. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be one of those ones that's gonna be. I mean, it's a Super Bowl, so yeah, you gotta have food and watch it. But it's kind of one of those ones where you're just like, it's a game. I honestly hate both the teams. Eagles, of course, because of the division, and Chiefs because they're cheaters. Okay.
Yeah, I agree, like 100%. Like I usually in a Super Bowl, I can at least find one team that I can root for. I guess I couldn't really last year with the 49ers. I guess that matchup was also pretty bad. Actually, I don't even remember who I rooted for actually in that game. Probably the 49ers for.
I did too, because even though I hate them too, because they always beat us
in the
postseason. But I feel like Christian McCaffrey deserves. He's so good.
Yeah.
I just Like players like that, I want to see him. Like the only reason like Eagles I'd be okay with them winning is because of Saquon Barkley. He's one of those players like aside from a hatred of the team, he deserves this year. He's
Yeah,
absolutely
I
incredible by him.
I absolutely agree with that, and I mean I think I am rooting for the Eagles most definitely over Kansas City. But yeah, the only reason I really don't like the Eagles is, sorry if you're an Eagles fan, but it's the fan base. I feel like the fans are very very passionate, almost a little too passionate for my liking. Um,
Even
there's
worse than
clips
Cowboys
again
fans.
from yes, like
Woo! We
even
got one.
well, I don't know. But yeah, like there's even clips from last game. These two guys walking out with the Commanders jerseys, and they're like screaming at him, just trying to walk out. And one of them like grabs their hat and throws it up, or like steals it. It basically like, rips his hat off and takes it, and he doesn't get it back. Or at least it didn't look like it in the video clip. But I don't know. I just the Eagles fans are a little wild sometimes. Um,
I
but
agree.
yeah, as far as what surprised me in those last games, nothing really that much. I mean, I feel like we all knew what those games were going to look like. If anything, I would say definitely Jalen Hurts surprised a little bit. We haven't really seen him even in the postseason with the passing game that much, but this game it was much better. Um, Definitely sad for the Commanders and Jaden Daniels with everything that he did, especially even just in that game. I know he might not have won, but I don't think a lot of it was his fault. Like you said, the turnovers, not touching the ball for 2 straight touchdowns was a huge loss. Um, it definitely killed them. And even with those turnovers, I still thought they had a chance almost until the end of the game. Uh, but, that being said, turnovers happen, but Jane Daniels, fantastic. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the surprises. We all knew what the Chiefs were bringing, and it wasn't the Chiefs. They were bringing the Zebras with them, and of course that helped quite a bit. And I could go into that, but
It,
I don't want to come off as a conspiracy theorist, Bills
so I mean,
fan, of
like all
course.
jokes aside from that, obviously we gotta expect like a clean and fair game, but it's getting harder and harder. Like every time, like so
You
for
know,
example, there was like I think I was counting like four, maybe five calls that were like on the fence, crucial part of the games. You need to call to move forward. All five of them went to the Chiefs. So and you know the ones I'm talking about, the big ones like the first down one or that the Kelsey taunting penalty, or yeah, just like all those,
the spotting the whole entire game was
or the
like
catch,
so
Xavier
off.
Worthy catch, like
That
anything that was
catch,
on the
yeah, that catch was
fence,
really bad.
every single one of them, and it just makes you think a little bit. It's
I mean, two
kind of
referees
weird,
have
but
critical spots, and they go with the one referee who didn't have clear sight of the ball. Then they reviewed it, and still, the reason that they gave was there just wasn't enough evidence to overturn
yeah,
the call on the field, and that excuse to me is just like actually just ridiculous.
I think it's
With
horrible
all
too.
this technology we have in sports to figure this stuff out, like I mean, you look at a tennis game and they got freaking high definition CGI like videos of
Slow
they can
motion,
come out
you
with
can see the angle
animations
on
of
a
what
tennis
happened
ball.
exactly in comparison to the line, and we can't find out where the football went. Like I don't know. But besides that, I mean, you could even yeah, I don't know. I just don't I don't want to get too much into it because if there are Chiefs fans or whatever watching, I don't want to come off as a conspiracy theorist, but I definitely think that there was some I don't know
Well,
some
here's the
some
thing.
Chiefs
Let's
favorite
look
in
at it
there.
this way. I want to look at it this way because this is what I was saying to people at work. Like everybody knew, there's not a lot of people that I work with that are sports fans. I work with a bunch of nerds, and if you're listening, you're a nerd. But I said this, and this is the key takeaway from the calls. There's two calls that are definitely like questionable, and I'll say probably a third one at the end of the game here. So the first call was the pass that initially looking at, I thought it was an interception. Right. It was the pass to Xavier Worthy. That was kind of a toss-up. Both people had possession, whatever. Initially, I thought it was an interception. That's what it looked like. And then, the replay started happening, and I saw the ball hit the ground. Now, you can call me blind or stupid. You're going to be wrong because that ball hit the ground. So watching the replay hit the ground, I was like, oh, it's incomplete. It's either if it's a catch, it's an interception. If it's not a catch, obviously it's incompletion. Ended up being a completion for the Chiefs. So now they're at 1st and goal. Ended up being a touchdown. So, they go up by 11 points because of a call that to me is blatantly obvious. Incomplete pass. The ball hit the ground. You look at it, and I'll tell you, it's half the ball's on the ground. So, ended up in a touchdown.
Yeah, and there's people claiming that the ball didn't move either, but that's you got two people with hands on the ball. Mind you, Xavier Worthy has like half of his hand on the ball. Not both, not even a full hand. He's got like the palm of his hand on the ball. Cole Bishop had a majority of his arm on the ball, and it hits the ground. Of course, it doesn't move because it's lodged between their bodies, but it absolutely hits the ground. I would say at that point is no one has possession. But the only reason why they went with the call on the field, which, mind you, he made that call immediately. He saw Xavier Worthy on the ground with like barely any hand on the ball, and he goes, yeah, it's Chiefs ball. And the only excuse they gave for why that call wasn't overturned is because it was too hard to overturn the call on the field.
Yeah, saying that in a championship game is absolutely ridiculous. Might add. So the second one I want to talk about, the second call was the very controversial 4th and 1, Josh Allen up the middle. They ruled it short. Now, looking at it live, the ref on the side of the ball that is most visible started running down on the other side of the first down marker, and he saw the other linesman run down on the opposite side. And then you saw the one that could see the ball best or see the spot best start to move in to the other side of the line. Now, that alone is kind of questionable, right? And then you have the replay. You have all these different angles. You have these are things that you have to take time reviewing because it makes or break a game. Now, I say that because the ball was turned over, ended up being short of the first down, which it wasn't, but anyway, ended up being short of the first down. What happens next possession for the Chiefs? They score a touchdown. Two of the biggest calls of that game resulted in Chiefs touchdowns. And that alone, either way, it could have been, a turnover on downs for the Chiefs or, a punt for the first one. The second one could have ended up being a touchdown for the Bills. There's points left on the board because of terrible calls and points gained on the board for the same calls for the Chiefs.
I mean,
and then obviously the last one
in that aspect too is
they're just probable.
The Bills' defense was definitely outplayed. They're not even in the same class as the offense on the field. So there's, and that with the touchdowns and stuff, you could put that full blame on the defense there because
the defense is, I already knew it was just going to be bad. It always is in the playoffs.
Realistically, you can't put the full blame because with those calls being made, the defense doesn't have to be on the field. You know what I mean? Like it was 3rd and 5 when the pass was made to Xavier Worthy, and it was deep, right? It was a 26-yard pass. So that call being made forces a punt or a risky 4th and 5 conversion, which actually would they have been?
Or even
I don't know. I
can't
remember. I can't remember where they were on the field.
If they
it was a field goal.
And you win the game still.
It probably would have been a field goal, right? But either way, it's 7 points instead of 3. And then the second one, it's probable points for the Bills, possible points for the Bills that end up being 7 for the Chiefs because the next drive resulted in a touchdown. Yes, the defense had to come on the field and play, and they did get outplayed. However, your offense stays on the field if that conversion is successful, right? So your defense doesn't have to get outplayed because they're not on the field. So it's really in the first one, your defense comes off the field, whether it's a field goal or a punt or whatever. Your defense comes off the field. You don't have to get outplayed. So the obvious strong suit of the Bills is their offense, and the Bills' offense would have taken the field on both of those, and there's 14 points off the board. Well, maybe 11 because the first one would have been a field goal. And then the last one I want to talk about was the flag that was thrown on the last pass for Josh Allen that Dalton Kincaid dropped. Which, by the way, full circle, tight end, full circle. You have Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion in one game, and then Kincaid dropping a huge first down conversion.
When I saw that replay, by the way, that was very catchable.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was.
it was.
Yeah, he was like from the camera that they were using, which was all the way on the left hand side of the field. It looked like he was like there was like 5 people on the ball, but you look on the other side of the field, and he was like pretty open actually.
Yeah.
And the aerial view, like there was a busted cover, like he was wide open. Obviously, with the blitz, it's much harder. Like he was on his back foot, throwing at a weird angle, and
But it was there,
it
and it was
absolutely
definitely
was
catchable.
catchable.
It's crazy too because watching that at the camera angle they had, you couldn't see him down there. So I literally thought he just hucked it up and said a prayer. But I mean, he was wide open. I think it was like he lost his footing or something. He didn't have his feet set, and he dropped it. Also, I think he got that conversion before Josh Allen had to try to QB sneak up the middle. So I think he got that first down. That was called short. But
the spotting the whole entire game was way off. Like there's a few like that I don't see people mentioning, but like James Cook I think had a run or two where he went out of bounds and they marked it like 2 yards short. Like I was like, oh, okay, good, we got the first down, or at least like right at the line, and then it was always like a full like yard or two like away, and I was like, okay, I mean, sure.
You know what also didn't work? That little sneak play that they kept trying to play, the Josh Allen sneak play.
Yeah,
Like,
it looked horrible.
They kept going to that like every time, and it was bad.
I have no idea. No, it didn't even look like normal, like what they normally do. I know they usually push to the left, but like especially on like the first one that they did in the whole game, it looked like he was like sitting there for a while, and then he finally. Yeah, it was weird.
It looks slow. Yeah.
Josh Allen got paid, I guess.
Yeah, it was the whole. I mean, he every single time he kind of like got the snap and went to the left instead of going straight up the middle, which, I mean, I don't know. It just obviously sometimes didn't work. It looked a little awkward, but what are you gonna do?
When I'm looking at the game, why do you not turn around and hand it to James Cook? He's literally.
That's another thing on the final drive. We didn't use him at all.
Killing it, like, and
yeah, he was cooking.
Yeah, he was doing really good. So I was questioning that, like, just turn around and hand to him. He's been cooking the defense the whole game. But
yeah, the second half, he started popping off, and that was really. It was very impressive to see, and it was a lot to look forward to. They just got away from it. I don't know, but real quick, the last play on that Dalton Kincaid drop, they threw a flag, and my theory, and this is a big conspiracy theory type thing, they threw the flag, and if it was a complete pass, they probably would have stuck the flag and called some sort of BS penalty on the Bills.
Illegal formation.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, but he dropped it, and they're like, nah, never mind. Chiefs ball. Go ahead, go crazy.
Yeah, it's fun looking at all those conspiracies. Absolutely hilarious. I see the big story too. Another thing is Chiefs 3-peat, Kelsey on the field, and Taylor Swift comes down and he announces his retirement and proposes to Taylor Swift. Like on
Yeah,
like a reality TV show now. I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah. It's literally a movie, and it's all scripted. But yeah, it's very unfortunate, and it made me very sad. I was very upset, and I felt bad for my family because I was not in a good mood. But
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I was downstairs. I was watching with um, obviously mother and Mike, and I literally after the game, like after they got that Sanjay P. Ryan first down, I literally was like, okay, I'm going upstairs
yeah, I shut the
now.
TV off.
Yeah, I had to walk away.
It was so
Yeah,
bad that I didn't even go in the group chat and say, "Uh-oh, Bills fans."
I I
yeah. I would have
ooh
flew to your house and probably smack you right in the
yeah,
chest.
there would have been something that would have happened to you late at night.
Um, yeah, that would not have been good for you, brother. So thank you for having restraint. So
Just
let's
remember
pivot.
this moment. So if the Cowboys, 20 years from now ever make it, just remember that I spared you.
Okay. I actually will because that was very generous of you because you definitely could have made us more upset. Um, I want to pivot to the Super Bowl now. We talked about takeaways and surprises. Execution in the Super Bowl. What do you guys have happening? What do you look forward to seeing from each team in terms of like game plans or what you expect to have happen? And Caleb, I'm going to start with you this time.
Oh my goodness gracious! So what am I looking forward to? Nothing.
No, nothing.
What I was looking forward to is currently
We can't just sit
not
here
going
and
to the
do
Super Bowl.
nothing.
Nothing.
I the commercials. I could say the commercials. Kendrick might be good. That might be pretty interesting. No, I'm looking for a good game. Really, I'm looking for not the three-peat to happen. I think the Eagles are going to win the game too. I think they're definitely going to. You know, Saquon Barkley. Oh, I'm waiting for Saquon to get his. I'll say if Saquon somehow doesn't win Offensive Player of the Year, like say it's like Josh gets MVP and Lamar gets whatever, um, I hope he at least gets his Super Bowl MVP because he deserves something. So I'll say I want Saquon Barkley to run for about 300 yards and get the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. That's what I'm hoping for. He's my X factor in this game. He's the one that's going to do it all.
So yeah, Saquon is your X factor. Is this for the whole game or just for the team?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it means both.
All right, brother. What are you looking for? What's up?
Looking forward. To be honest, I wouldn't be upset if both teams lost. So I'm gonna be happy that
Real.
one lost and unhappy that one won. So it's not really something that I'm gonna look forward to see, I guess, necessarily. There's obviously gonna be a winner and a loser, but I think the number one main thing is what I'm gonna be looking out for is the Eagles' defense. It's
Mm-hmm.
been number one in the NFL, and it's honestly that mixed with the. It's like an old school team. You hit them on the ground, you run the game, you run the ball, and your defense doesn't let up points. So I think that's going to be the key factor stopping Kansas City from scoring anything. Not that their offense has been extremely explosive this year anyway, but I mean that's for me the key factor. Not even like a single player, just the whole side of the defense is the key factor for them to win at least. Um, I mean, I guess seeing history in real time is kind of cool. If there were to happen to be a three-peat, even though I would hate for it to happen. Same thing if I'd hate for the Eagles to win. So I'm in a lose-lose situation. But I always like those history breaker things, like we're in real time, and it's something that they'll talk about for ages. Is like, I remember that one team in Dynasty ran. They went three in a row, three peats, never happened again. We're living in that time. We don't realize that it's happening right now. So it was like seeing those kind of things. But yeah, that's pretty much what's gonna is that key factor defense number one. Is it gonna stay number one throughout the year and help them win a game? I think it'll be close. I think it's gonna be a good game. Will I watch it? I mean, yeah, probably I will. I won't follow the boycott thing, but it won't be a huge
I think the boycott
won't
thing
be a
is
huge
stupid.
celebration. Yeah,
No one's gonna boycott it.
yeah, I doubt it too.
Let's be
And same
real.
thing with the ratings when we were looking up the Pro Bowl thing. You look at the Super Bowl; it's been going up every year.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see it all over Twixter, and you're like, man, I want to join that crowd, but it's not gonna happen.
Listen, I mean, I am as angry as the next guy, but
I'm the next guy.
yeah, exactly. But a Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. I don't care who's playing. You gotta watch it. It's gonna be fun vibes. Get some people together. Throw yourself a party. I mean, it's a free excuse for chicken wing dip. So
I love chicken.
how could you not love it? You know what I mean?
I can tell you how.
Well,
The Chiefs are in it.
you know, that's what
I
the
mean,
alcohol is for, though.
that's I mean, Justin, that's a really good point. We're potentially looking at history, but any other team, really any other team. I'm not kidding.
Well, it would be
It
the
could
same
be any
story if
other
it
team.
were any other team. Like if it were the Patriots
Not the
again.
Bills.
No, any other team that didn't get, I guess the workaround with calls. Like any other
Well, it's
team
the
that didn't get.
same argument with Tom Brady and
And did you know
were...
that in the postseason the Chiefs get 90% less calls than their opponents?
Yeah,
90%.
it's. I mean,
Well, they're just
there's
a
people.
well-coached team.
No, it's not.
I will
It's not
say that. Yeah, I think
I-
Andy is a great coach.
Don't get me wrong, he's a great coach, but it's not. You can't attribute it to well coaching when flags are flying everywhere in every situation and bad calls are being made by the refs with like spotting and completions and things like that. Like especially watching the Bills lose to them, and it's a consistent story of this call was obvious, but it went the Chiefs' way. Like watching the game on Sunday, there's no reason that some of those calls should have been made and the Bills should have won, but because the calls were made for the Chiefs, it makes me wish that if things were even, if they didn't get the calls they got, where would they actually be right now in terms of record or Super Bowl wins even? And it's a consistent story over multiple years, so it's upsetting to see, and it's I don't know. A lot of people are calling for a boycott. Is it going to happen? Who knows? We'll look at the ratings afterwards, but it's really really sad to see. For me, not for Chiefs fans, but what are you going to do? But yeah, my X factor. I didn't even get to that. Realistically, it's got to be Saquon the whole game. X factor. Now, I think what has to happen and what's going to happen is the Eagles will use him abundantly. 3 touchdowns against the Commanders, huge, but you're not playing the Commanders anymore. The Chiefs have a seemingly pretty stout run defense, although James Cook kind of ran all over them in the second half of that game. And Josh Allen actually started using his legs a little bit too. More rushing yards. I think he only had 6 rushing yards in the first half. So they started using their legs a little bit more, and they started getting a little bit more leeway. So, I mean, that's a big plus for the Eagles, 100%. And then even if you aren't using Saquon efficiently, you have AJ Brown and the Slim Reaper, to throw the ball to, and Dallas Goedert. So there's a lot of weapons and a lot of ways you could play the game to be successful against the Chiefs, and hopefully beat them. But yeah, we'll see about that. It's we'll see how many flags. I'm probably going to take the over if I can bet on how many calls the Chiefs are going to get, but we'll see. We will see. I'm actually looking forward to watching it, mainly because I want to feed into my theory of the Chiefs.
Yeah, you know what? Listening to everything and talking about it finally. I haven't been in this Discord or talked to really anyone about the game since, because I've tried to save myself from feeling depression.
I was gonna say our
However,
friend group likes to really hammer it on one
yeah.
our teams.
However, after talking about it finally, I can confidently make my announcement that I will be rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time in my entire life, and probably the last time in my entire life. They are going to be my team. I'm going to put entire mortgage payment right into gambling for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to win the football game by at least 30 points.
Huh. That's interesting. That's an interesting.
That is interesting. It should be a good game. Who knows? Maybe somebody calls the Eagles sideline and the ring. Hey, you got to sit Saquon. He's doing too much. And then, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? It's literally an entertainment league at this point. It's not a sports league. But I digress. Enough saltiness. We're gonna move on. Look forward to watching it and seeing what happens. But at this point, it is time for everybody's favorite part of the week.
It's time for It's Okay. It's
Somebody
not
has to hit the
okay.
button. I can't hit the button.
You already did.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
All right. You could probably edit that out in post, huh?
No, we're gonna roll with it.
No,
All
just
right.
roll with it.
Well, I didn't hear it. I'm on my phone at work in the parking lot, so my apologies. But is it okay to bet? Everyone's putting bets in and parlays for the Super Bowl. And one of the main ones we see every year is people betting on a streaker.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Said on the octopus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Betting on the streaker during the Super Bowl. So I want to know, is it okay or is it not okay to bet on there being a streaker in the Super Bowl and being the streaker yourself? You put a bet in with a parlay, there's going to be a streaker, and you say, you know what? That streaker is I. Is that okay? Caleb, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Let's just get this out of the way here. To be the streaker, absolutely yes, it's okay. Because it's funny, right? No. Let's get serious about this, okay? Is it okay? Is it not okay? This is a serious topic, right? Streakers. It's public indecency. I mean, these guys go to jail afterwards, right?
Yep.
Right. Not great. Not great. This is a legitimate crime. Yeah, it's okay. I think it's funny. I think everyone loves it. I don't think anyone hates it, really. I think it shouldn't be a crime. Not saying everyone should just go and do it, but it is a funny thing, and it happens basically without fail every single time. So I think, I think it's okay to be the streaker for sure. Betting on a streaker, absolutely. I mean, you could, my thing with the betting is if you can bet on things like the WWE, you can bet on anything. I mean, you're betting on a scripted thing. Why not just gamble all your money away on a chance of something happening? I think it's like the same as going to a casino and betting all on black. Like, there's a chance that you're gonna win a big, there's a chance that you're not, and the same thing with a streaker. Except it's almost it's almost guaranteed money to bet for the streaker. So I think it's okay. Even though it is against the law, so I would advise against it. But I think it's really funny every time that it happens. So that's really the only judgment I'm basing everything off of. So yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of variables that go into this because there was a story last year or maybe a year before or something where this scenario actually happened.
Yep.
Guy goes to jail and he wasn't able to cash out on his bet or something. Was that the story that he didn't actually get his winning?
I don't know if he was able to cash out on his bet, but I know that he was like telling a lot of people, including Dr. Phil apparently, to bet on a streaker because he was going to plan to do it. I actually don't know if he placed a bet or if he was able to, but he ended up streaking anyway. Or something like that. I know he didn't get the earnings.
Yeah,
We'll just say that.
and yeah, like the other man, if you're sitting there in the Super Bowl and your rushing yards hit on Saquon and the anytime touchdown hits and the passing yards hit and the team's winning and everything's clicking and that last one still no one's done the streak. I mean, you got to look at it and be like, I mean, do it. I mean, are we gonna hit big here or are we just gonna let this ride and see if someone else does it for me? So I could see that scenario like playing out too. Like, oh, this is the last leg of my parlay. I gotta do it. Got to do it. I'm gonna go to jail. I gotta do it.
I got to do it.
But yeah, I think the whole it used to be fun, and same thing, the old school thing. You see people run out there. The only thing it like interrupts the game. Everyone gets like, ha ha ha. They're interrupting a little bit, but nowadays there's so much heightened security, and the camera won't even put you on the spotlight at all. There's almost no point in doing it anymore. So yeah, that's the portion that is taken out of the whole thing now. But as far as yourself hitting the leg of the parlay, I'm really leaning towards to be banned from every NFL game for the rest of your life to hit the parlay. Is it worth it? I'm gonna say it's 100% worth it. It's okay, brothers.
Damn.
Anything for that parlay.
Well, I'm glad you guys both said it was okay. Because once again, I'm gonna be
fun, brother.
I'm gonna be different.
Anti-fun.
Well, here's the thing about it. You spend, and I think the ticket last year that the dude bought was like $42,000 or something like that. That's what I read. So he spent, I don't know if it was just the ticket or the ticket and the airfare and the hotel and all that stuff. But being that it's one of the most like common bets, I'd assume obviously you have your stat lines and stuff like that and the winner. You're gonna have the bet line of the winner every single year, obviously. But being that it's like one of the things, it's like the oddball bets. It's very common. Now, the value in you actually making a profit off of after buying the ticket, the airfare, the hotel, and then your bond when you go to jail, because you will go to jail unless you
Ooh.
end up flying away miraculously and don't get caught. What is the actual profit margin that you're making off a bet?
Depends on how much you put on it.
And not only,
Millions.
correct. However, there's a caveat to that as well. I think if you get caught putting a bet on it and then doing it yourself, the winnings can be taken away from you. I'm sure I've heard it somewhere. I think I remember hearing it like somebody did it, but they didn't get the winnings because it turned out like it's like inside betting or something like that, technically. So you take the risk of not making any money off the bet, also going to jail, and also having to pay more money than you did for like your bail. So that risk alone is not worth it to me. Right. And then you're banned. You can never go to another football game ever again. right? So that risk is huge. However, it is very funny. I will say that it is very funny. It's
Yay,
also
fun.
it's also very fun to see them get absolutely demolished by security. It would be more fun to have somebody like, you know, back in the day, like Ed Reed, just absolutely spike tackle them instead of letting the security do it. But obviously, there's lawsuits involved and stuff like that. So I think if there's a streaker, they should let players go after him because that would be a good time, a little side quest, if you will. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's not okay. The risk is too great for you not to make enough money. And the first part of our podcast, the first segment, is pretty much all about money. So money talk.
Very true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the podcast. You heard both opposing views on the It's Okay, It's Not Okay, which we will be posting on Twixter. Do not forget about it. Find us there at the Fasce Cast, as well as every single 8 o'clock in the morning, Thursday morning, right here on YouTube at the Fasce Cast as well. Guys, enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll see you next week. We'll talk to you before it happens. And then we're going to give you some news, too, next week at the future of the Fasce Cast. We'll leave that for next week. But enjoy. Have a great Super Bowl. Eat some chicken wing dip. Go Cowboys. And we'll see you next Thursday at 8 a.m. Have a beautiful day.